Welcome to class. Today we are going to be looking at the topic child development. I know when we hear the word child development, it has to do with growth. Yeah. When you give birth to a child, it's a baby, it's a small infant, and before you know that baby will start sitting. From sitting, you start crawling or creeping, then you start walking. Before you now go to 5 years, 6 years, 13 years, teenager, before he gets to what? An adult. And not just that, every baby have their own growth rate. The way baby A will grow differs from the way baby B will grow. So we need to know and have the understanding about the growth pattern of every normal child. There's a pattern a child grows. You don't just wake up one morning and see your mommy's baby is not an adult. Everybody will scream around. Sounds funny, yeah. So growth is a process. Development has stage. You don't just jump from being 5 years and you wake up the next morning you are 10 years. It doesn't happen that way. So that will bring us to, firstly, we need to know what is growth. Sure, we need to know what's growth. And we say growth is an increase in physical size of the whole body or any of its parts. That's what we mean by growth. So physically, when a baby is growing, when a baby size is changing, we say that baby is growing. A child grows in size, height, and weight. Grows in size, grows in height, grows in weight, and we should know that growth is measured in meters or kilogram. So that's what is growth. When you are growing in physical size, as you can see in this image, the baby was sitting. Now the baby is trying to use bicycle. You can see the growth rate. Physically is increasing, it's getting old, it's getting matured, it's getting stronger, it's getting taller height, and so also the weight also is increasing. It's increasing in weight. That will bring us to what is development. Development is an increase in size and complexity of functions. Increase in skills, and complexity of function. How does the child reason? The thinking of the child, the IQ of the child, how intelligent, how smart, sharpness. These are development. The difference between growth and development is that growth has to do with the physical size, the height, the weight. But development has to do with skills, complexity, and functions. How diverse can do this. That's developmentally, socially, how it talks, how it handle issues. You can see a child starts bringing things, acting as if it's a mature child, and you'll be wondering, is this child 5 years? Is it 10 years? Only for you to find that child is 3 years or 4 years. Like, wow, that's development. That will bring us to the principles of development. What are the principles of development? Development in children is predictable. You can predict it. And also it follows a definite pattern. When you say you can predict it, it has to do with, you definitely know that the child will reason. The child will start having understanding. When you call him, you just give him signal with your hands, come here, the child will come. So you already know that a child will definitely get to the level where he will mentally develop. The child will open his hands for you to carry him. So you can predict that yes, every children will definitely develop mentally, socially, and otherwise. And development also, talking about the principles, it follows a definite pattern. Meaning is one way, is not, the pattern is definite. You cannot assume this child might not be playing with toys, or this child might not be thinking, or this child might not reason, or this child might not hear, except there's something that has to do with the well-being, the health state of that child. For a normal child, is a definite pattern. A normal child will talk. A normal child will understand. When you call him or her, he will hear. So that's it, and it should be steady. Development is steady. Yeah, you start giving sign language with your hand, you will understand. You start saying it with your mouth, you will understand that yes, mommy is saying come, daddy is saying come. Even when you try to play with them, they are understanding. So it's steady, is definite, and is predictable. Also, development changes are orderly and progressive in normal child. We are talking about three. I don't have any health issues. A normal child is orderly and what progressive. Development starts from the head and spread all over the body, because that's where the brain is. That's the mind, the reasoning, the faculty, the IQ, where he or she thinks. So it starts from the head before it spread all over the body. That will bring us to stages in child development. As you can see in the image, you can see a baby sitting down, a baby standing, still wearing diaper, and now is wearing a shirt and a trousers. He has grown, and wow, the last image is a teen. And we can group them into three. We have the prenatal period, that is before birth. We have infancy, when it's already baby and still breastfeeding and all the rest. We have early and late childhood, where puberty will come in, and adolescent stage, as you can see in this image. So these are the various stages in child development. We have when before birth in the womb. That's it, is a development, because the baby will develop. That's where it will form the eyes, it will form the ears, it will form all the various parts of the body. Then when it comes out from the womb, which is the stage of infancy, we start growing and developing in the mind, in reasoning, learning how to talk, how to sit, how to creep, how to walk. From there, when he can talk, he has grown to early and late childhood stage. Puberty will come in, where the reproductive system is developing. They will now form adolescent. From adolescent, that adult no longer a child. Factors that influence development. There are two major factors that influence development, which are hereditary. We have hereditary and we have environment. As you can see in this image, the baby is looking like the father. Yeah, you can see the resemblance in the face. You can see the eyes, the smile, just that the father is older than the child. And that's an example of hereditary factor. You can see also in this image, same face. Look at the father's face, the mother's face, and the child's face. Just difference in color. This is hereditary, where you resemble your mother, or you are looking like your father, you are talking like your father, you are acting. It's hereditary. Then the environment has to do with where we live, our surrounding, the people around us. That's the environment. Now let's talk on each of them individually. What is hereditary? Hereditary is the tendency for a parent to transfer his or her characteristics to his child. Where you start talking like your mother, you find yourself behaving like daddy. That is calm, that is quiet. That's hereditary. Mom doesn't like dates, and you find yourself your baby is growing, and the baby also is not liking dates. Baby smiles like mommy, because mom always smiles. So also the units which bear hereditary, or the hereditary factor in our body cell, are called genes. Yeah, these are the unit genes. The gene of your father. When you hear that word, the gene of your father, the gene of your mother, that's what makes us to look like daddy and mom, because we bear their gene. They gave birth to us. It's that DNA which is in the blood, the gene that makes us, that is flowing in our vein, as you can see in this image. That will bring us to environment. We said this includes everything that is outside the child: love, care he or she receive, the family, feeding, toys, home surrounding, clothing, shelter, etc. has to do with environment. Everything outside the child is the child's environment. So when the baby is born, he looks at the mommy is smiling, everybody is happy, he feels love. That's an environment. He's welcome, be playing with toys, we feed him, surrounding, clothing, shelter. That is the baby's environment. So environment and hereditary affect the development process of a child. And that will bring us to the next subheading: areas of development. Now we want to look at where does a child develop. Firstly, Child develops in this following area: physical area, we can say physical development, mental development, emotional development, social development, and moral what development. Physical development has to do with the look of the child. Mental has to do with the reasoning. Emotional, if he or she knows how to feel love, is smiling, is happy, is crying. Social is people around him trying to play. And moral, attitude. You can tell a child, come and give me a child saying no. You're like, yeah. Moral development of a what child. Now let's talk on them individually. Physical development of a child. This is development of the physical structure and functions, e.g. the brain, the muscles, the nerves, the bone, and their what functions. So when a child is developing in terms of brain, reasoning, eyes, bones getting stronger and getting taller, getting fatter, it has to do with the physical development. The next is the mental development. This is the development of intellectual ability. Development of intellectual ability. It involves the ability to think, to understand, to solve problems. It is the children come out to this world helpless and without knowledge and skill. When they come, they don't know their left from their right. They need you to do everything for them. So they end up developing what mentally. As they are growing, they are developing mentally. They can tell you what they want. They can decide, and they can give you signal, cry, and everything. They learn from parents. They learn from their elder ones, their siblings around what them. So this has to do with what mental development. And they learn through playing, experience, playing with toys. That's where the mental development takes place. Their reasoning. They are very observant. They love looking. So as they are looking, this toy is like this toy has a tire. They don't know that it's a tire, but by that process, they are mentally developing. Their reasoning faculty is what is developing. As you can see in this image, the brain, that's where the mental development takes place. That will bring us to social development. These include the development of behavior approved by society or social group, playing socially approved roles, development of social attitude. I know someone is confused. Yeah, social development enables individuals participate in and enjoy social activities and take interest in people. That's what we mean by social development. When you see somebody is not social, he doesn't want to be around people, he doesn't have interest in activities with people. To him, it's not fun. He just wants to be alone. So children also develop socially. Social development actually begins at birth. For you see, he already knows mommy. Even when mommy is crying, the baby knows that mommy is the one that's carrying the baby. So it's important to give them attention early in life. That's where it starts. It starts from birth. That's where the social development starts. When they feel loved, everybody around them is laughing, is playing with them. You come, you carry them, they will smile back at you. You are teaching them how to be social, and also helping them to develop socially in the process. So that's where it starts. Emotional development. Emotions involve feelings and how a person expresses such feelings. Yeah, when we talk about emotions, we are talking about feelings and how you express it. For instance, by smiling, you can see the different image here: crying, frowning, looking scary. You can see the baby smiling, the other baby here is crying, the other baby is like wow, surprised, and the other baby is laughing profusely. So this is what emotions are the first language with which parents and infants communicate. Before the infant acquires speech, before a baby learns how to talk, that's the first language. You hear emotions. So when you laugh, they laugh. You frown your face, you see the baby frown your face, you do your lip, the baby will repeat the same thing. Those are the first language. A child develops in the way he or she feels. That's how they develop emotionally. So emotional well-being is deeply rooted in how well parents provide for the emotional needs of their children. So how you provide for your emotional needs of your children will determine how the child will grow emotionally. Providing love, providing attention, providing care, support, encouragement is what is necessary. So that will determine how the child will grow emotionally, or how the child will develop emotionally. That will bring us to moral development. This development shows in behavior and in how children treat others. Moral development also starts early in life. It shows in their behavior, and it shows in how they treat their other children. Just see two children fighting, and one will take the toy and eat the other. So children learn to base their behavior on what they believe is right or wrong from the family, most often from parents. That's where they learn the moral development. That's where they learn their moral behavior from. This starts as children begin to learn the rules that parents and other caregivers set. They understand those language. They know when you are telling them this thing is bad, even if they can't talk, because they are growing mentally also. So that's where it starts. You start developing them morally on how you set their growth process for them. The rules that you already laid down for them. Between the age of 5 and 7, children begin to develop conscience. A child of 5 and a child of 7 knows what is bad and knows what is wrong. At that time, you start taming the child. This is bad. Don't stay. It's not good. Don't lie. Don't do this. Don't do that. You can do this. It's good. You can do this. It's that. So when they do something wrong, it triggers guilt, and they know that they've done something wrong. So you start a moral development. It's advisable to start early. Don't assume there is a baby. You wait till he starts talking. Start giving the signal. Start setting the pace. When he starts talking, you see the child following suit. That brings us to conditions necessary for what? Child development. What are the conditions necessary for child development? Love and care from what? Family. That's what it is. A child needs it. It's necessary. It's mandatory. That love and care must be shown because it helps them to develop mentally, socially, emotionally. So the love and care must be shown. Medical care also must be shown by what? Doctor, anytime he or she feels here, we can show the child medical care. Love and care also should be shown. We have good nutrition. That has to do with feeding. The kind of food they eat food that has balanced diet that will make them grow well. We have clothing. We have exercise. We have rest. They play, and after playing they sleep, and they also should rest to enable their body to rest and grow well and function well. Hope you've learned a lot about child development. See you in our next class. Bye.